Here's out. Phil. Ace 6.
Pot. What is it?
It is pot limit pre-flop. Phil raises to 2,000.
You got a nice hand to start with, Phil?
The needling has already started.
These two have quite a history.
The cannon folds. Jacks for his Fondiari, who calls. And Tony G's in as well.
Can you beat ace 9 offsuit? I know you can, Tony.
I can't. That's for sure. I wish.
Phil has Tony dominated, but Antonio has them both in bad shape.
The flop, 10-8-10, a gut shot for Tony G. Antonio's still with the best hand, and he's first to act.
Antonio probably likes his hand on this board.
So much so, he leads out, betting 4,400. Tony G folds.
Antonio doesn't want to give a free card, and on a board like that, he knows he can get called by ace high. Phil might think he has the best hand in this spot.
Where is it?
Announces a raise to 14-4.
Antonio can't really like the flop raise, but the likelihood that Phil has him beat on that board is pretty slim. Now, if Phil had a good hand here, there wouldn't be a real point in raising. There's only a couple draws to protect against, and we all know Phil's a big trapper.
Antonio calls, and it's already a juicy pot.
Good game, you see.
The turn, 3 of spades. As Fondiari checks.
Antonio's checking to the aggressor. He might like his hand, but he doesn't want to bet and get raised. That would make him more likely to be playing for his whole stack on the river. Phil's got to decide if he wants to fire another barrel. If Antonio had something Phil thought he could fold on the flop, that 3 probably didn't help him.
Phil bets 17,000.
This is more indicative of the kind of bet Phil would make if he really did like his hand. Antonio's probably realizing that making this call will basically put the rest of his stack in play on the river on the very first hand of this game.
Antonio calls.
Phil's got a pretty slim chance of actually making the winning hand.
The river, the 5 of diamonds. Antonio checks.
We've got almost $70,000 in this pot, and Antonio has stuck with Phil the whole way. If Phil wants to win this pot, he will have to fire a third barrel. Phil's trying to decide if he can make Antonio fold and just what that perfect size barrel is to get the job done. The Winchester, the 12 gauge, or the howitzer.
Wow. Sorry I'm taking so long, guys.
Tony seems cool with it.
Phil finally bets 22 grand.
Should get an Academy Award for that one.
Phil's chosen to make a fairly small bet, less than 1/3 of the pot. Antonio could interpret this as a classic McHelmuth extra value meal, and he's not loving it.
Ace 10, huh?
Nope.
Translation, OMG, please fold.
And OMG, Antonio does.
Show the bluff, Phil.
Week. Here's how Chris and I called the hand.
King 9 suited for Justin, a raise to 1,400.
Bonomo still trying to take control of yet another pot tonight.
Barry folds. Jason, ace, jack. Calls. Joe Cassidy, ace 3 suited. Makes it 3 to the flop.
Some players would re-raise ace-jack, but Jason is out of position.
10-7-8, all diamonds. Mercier checks. Cassidy checks.
Bonomo's flopped the second nut flush with a straight flush redraw.
And bets 4,000.
Jason's also flopped a straight flush draw, but we see Justin has the 9 he'd need.
Mercier calls.
Justin's trying to build a pot, and his reputation for playing aggressively with marginal hands will only help him in these types of situations.
Cassidy folds. So we're down to 2 on the turn, which is the ace of clubs.
This is a terrible card for Jason. He's been drawing dead since the flop. Now his hand's improved.
Mercier checks. Bonomo bets 11,000.
Still building this pot. For Jason, top pair and a strong draw is only going to get him to commit more money to this pot, even though we know he has no redraw.
Mercier calls.
Bonomo's got to be loving this.
Deuce of hearts on the river.
Jason hasn't improved.
Mercier checks.
He'd probably be very happy to have Justin just check behind for a cheap showdown. No such luck. Justin reaching for value betting chips.
How about $30,000 worth?
It's a pot-sized bet. Jason's trying to figure out if this is a bluff or a value bet. Jason knows at this point he can't beat any hand Justin would be value betting, so he has to figure out how often Justin would be bluffing in this spot. Very tough spot.
Come on.
Jason Mercier all in.
Really?
Make no mistake, despite the fact that he has top pair, this is a straight bluff from Jason Mercier. Once he saw that $30,000 bet, he's a pretty good idea Justin is value betting. A check raise in this spot is very strong. He thinks that by making this bet, he can get Justin to lay down almost any hand that isn't the nuts. This is a sick bluff by Jason. He's giving Justin really good odds to make the call, which makes Jason's hand look even stronger. He just happened to run to the top of Justin's range.
I guess you have the ace of diamonds. What's the other card? Yeah, I call.
Base check. Nice hand.
Bonomo wins a pot of nearly $230,000.
That's kind of a good hand that you have there.
And Jason's now busted.
Thanks.
Jason got pretty...
Pocket fours from Matthias Bergstrom. And he's raising. He makes it 7,000 to play. So here's Benny with King Jack off.
Contrary to what Benny might think, this isn't a mandatory 3-bet or even a mandatory call to an early position raiser.
Did you really think he'd fold? Benny Spindler 3-bets.
Story checks out.
Now 20,000 to play. And hello, Paul Fulton is going to 4-bet with ace-6 off.
Okay, so I know I would be an advocate of re-raising Benny Spindler if you have any sort of hand, but A, Benny's not the only player in the hand, B, cold 4-betting with ace-6 is not a winning play overall, and C, no. Just no.
So action back on Benny with Bergstrom giving up his pair of fours.
Boy, Fulton doesn't look very comfortable, does he? Oh wait, that could just be because he's British.
Now. Those are not calling chips. Benny Spindler is going to 5-bet to 90,000.
I guess either King Jack is too weak to call with and Benny wants to turn it into a bluff, or we're just seeing a good old-fashioned stack swinging contest.
Fulton hasn't auto-marked.
He does have the best hand. Gotta wonder if he knows it, though.
Oh my word, it's a 6-bet!
There is some serious button clicking going on here. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what these guys should or are going to do anymore. I'm out.
Who will blink first? Not Benny Spindler, it's a 7-bet jam!
Fulton has now invested half his chips on this hand. Gotta wonder if he's regretting it now.
Oh my word, this is the sickest hand ever! Benny Spindler shows the King Jack at the end as he rakes in that pot.
James Fulton cold 4-bet, then 6-bet, then folded. It's absurd. 10 years ago, the 3rd bet was aces. Now the 7th bet is King Jack off. I need a cocktail.